Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 30th of July 2021. Welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead, and guys, you can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So you can watch this video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you can download our application Careers Cloud from the description box link. After downloading, you can click on this login with Google and you can log in with your email ID, and after that you can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the current affairs subscription price is very much low, but if you see the price, you will definitely surprise. And the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of that current affair which can come in your exam. This is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily section, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, second is question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, we are providing three type of things. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, and the quiz section which you can attempt on an application on weekly basis. Next is the monthly section, and you will receive four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affair, best 100 current affairs, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liners and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise the current affairs again and again. But guys, we are also providing topic wise current affairs, like we are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. It means if you want to cover all the current affairs just related to one topic, you can just pick one PDF related to that topic. So you can cover all the current affairs related to one topic just from single PDF. And if you are a banking aspirant, then we are providing three things. One is the detail and the question and answer format only related to banking and economy. And third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on monthly basis. If you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021, then you have to just pick one PDF, that is exam PDF. We are also providing detailed budget and economic survey, and also we are providing expected question and answer related to budget and economic survey so that you can recall that examiner can put these type of questions from budget and economic survey. And guys, we are also providing state current affair to enhance your state performance for your state exams, and we are covering every state and union territory. So guys, these all things comes under just one subscription. You have to download our application Careers Cloud, you have to log in with your email ID, and you can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. For the beginners who are just starting their preparation, I am just requesting you to buy these current affairs just for 2 years. And guys, both the subscription prices are very much low, and on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And if you have any query, you can email us on this email ID or you can contact us on this number. So let's start today's current affair, that is 30th of July 2021, and we are starting with the most important section. But you have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and guys, you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and you can join a Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question: which city has become the only city from India to be selected for International Clean Air Catalyst Program? So the most important keyword here is the International Clean Air Catalyst Program. And for this program, two cities are selected, one from the India, second is from the Indonesia. But you have to just answer me only city from India, and answer of this question is that is the cleanest city of India, it is Indore. So answer of this question is Indore, and it is in Madhya Pradesh. You can see here, Indore, city of Madhya Pradesh, becomes the only Indian city to make it International Clean Air Catalyst Program. And guys, remember, India's cleanest city, Indore, has become the only city from India to be selected under this program or the Catalyst Program. And the project will be rolled out for 5 years. You have to remember the time period is 5 years. And this program was launched by which organization? It is launched by United States Agency for International Development, which is also known as United States AIDS. And remember, United States Aid headquarters is in Washington DC. And the program will be piloted in the two cities. One is the Indore in Madhya Pradesh in India, and second is Jakarta in Indonesia. We already covered this point, and the main objective is to accelerate clean air solutions in low and the middle income countries. It means this catalyst program main focus on the cleaner and the healthier air. And under this project, USAID and partners, the partners organization, will work with the local communities to identify and raise awareness of the local pollution sources and build focused groups to deliver solution which leads to cleaner and the healthier air. So the main focus is on the cleaner and the healthier air. and it has several new and innovative features such as the source awareness, root cause analysis, focused correlation building, and the other things. So you have to just remember 2 or 3 keywords: the Indian city, which was selected from International Clean Air Catalyst Program, and this is Indore, and this program is started by USAID, headquarters in Washington DC. This program timeline is 5 years. Other city which is selected, that is Jakarta, and it is for the cleaner and healthier air. So guys, this is the most important thing under this question. Now we are moving to the next question. Which tiger reserve has won the NatWest Group Earth Heroes Award of 2021? The most important thing under this question is the name of the award, that is NatWest Group Earth Heroes Award, and it is for 2021. And guys, answer of this question is Sariska Tiger Reserve. No, this is not the answer. Answer is Satpura Tiger Reserve. D is the answer. So guys, remember, D is the answer. And you can also see here, Madhya Pradesh Satpura Tiger Reserve bags the NatWest Earth Heroes Award. And why this Tiger Reserve won this award? This Tiger Reserve won this award in the Earth Guardian category for the best management. For the best management, remember this. And Satpura Tiger Reserve is located exactly in Hoshangabad, in Madhya Pradesh area. And this award is being recognition and honor to the individuals and the institutions who work exceptionally hard to preserve and protect our climate ecosystem. And this Tiger Reserve won for the best management of the Tiger Reserve, or you can say best management for the ecosystem of the Tiger Reserve. And guys, you can also remember the NatWest Earth Heroes Award, formerly known as RBS Earth Heroes Award, and it was given annually since 2011. So guys, you have to remember the name of just the Tiger Reserve, that is Satpura Tiger Reserve, not the Sariska Tiger Reserve. And Namdapha Tiger Reserve is in Arunachal Pradesh. You can remember this, Arunachal Pradesh. Sariska Tiger Reserve is in Rajasthan. And Ramgarh Tiger Reserve is also in Rajasthan. This is very important because Ramgarh is the latest added Tiger Reserve all over India. So it is the 52nd Tiger Reserve of India. Total Tiger Reserves in India are 52, and 52nd is Ramgarh Tiger Reserve, and it is also in Rajasthan. So guys, you can remember this. Moving to next question. Who is appointed as the new Chief Executive Officer of Bharat Bill Payment System? Very important for the banking students. And answer of this question is Nupur Chaturvedi. Remember, answer is Nupur Chaturvedi. Answer is A. You can see here the picture of Nupur, and Bharat Bill Pay appoints PayU's Nupur Chaturvedi as the new Chief Executive Officer. And guys, you can also remember that she succeeds the outgoing CEO A.R. Ramesh. It means the former examiner can ask, former name is A.R. Ramesh. And you can also remember Nupur Chaturvedi. She was the former executive of PayU India and Airtel Payment Bank. And in April 2021, NPCI, you can remember, National Payment of Corporation of India, transfer all its Bharat Bill Payment System transactions mandated to its new subsidiary, which is known as NBBL. It stands for NPCI Bharat Bill Payment Limited. So all the payments are transferred to this organization, which is also the subsidiary of National Payment Corporation of India. And this, you can say, Bharat Bill Payment System is a bill payment system conceptualized by RBI, or the Reserve Bank of India, and driven by the National Payment Corporation of India, NPCI. And you can remember NPCI head is Dilip Asbe. And guys, you can also remember one thing about the other options like TV Narendran. He was recently appointed as the President of Confederation of India Industry for 1 year, like for 2021-22. Vishavir Ahuja, again very important pointed, Managing Director and CEO of RBL Bank. Remember this. And Hitendra Dave, he was recently appointed as CEO of HSBC India, Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank Corporation, India. So guys, you can remember these appointments because these are again very, very important. Now we are moving to the next section. It is our very important question section, guys. Most important questions are now covered. You have to like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, remember, you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question. United Nations Food System Pre-Summit 2021 was held in which country? So we are talking about Food System Pre-Summit 2021, and it was hosted by which country? It was hosted by Italy. So answer of this question is B. And it is a 3-day United Nations Food System Pre-Summit which was held in a hybrid mode. Remember, it was held in hybrid mode, and it was organized by the United Nations because it is a United Nations summit, and it is also organized by government of Italy because it is hosted by Italy. So you can remember. And from Indian side, it is represented by our Agriculture Minister, Union Agriculture and you can say Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar ji, and he represented India under this meeting, and he led the 15-member delegation. 15-member delegation. And United Nations accepted the Government of India proposal to celebrate 2023 as the International Year of Millet. This question is most important here. Remember, 2023 will be known as the International Year of Millets. And the key efforts by India with regards to agriculture are, which are mentioned by Narendra Singh Tomar ji. That first one is creation of Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. That is very important because Union government created this fund, that is 1 lakh crore fund only for the agriculture. Next, formation of 10,000 farmer producer organization. This is the target of Indian government, to form 10,000 farmer producer organization. Almost 8,000 are there, 2,000 are left. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme. This is again very important because 6,000 rupees per year will be provided to the farmers, and through which an annual amount of 1.37 lakh crore has been credited to the bank accounts of 11 crore farmers. So this is very important. Next is Parampragat Krishi Vikas Yojana. It is just to you can use the traditional farming methods, and it is for the organic farming as well as the soil health card scheme to conserve water and the soil resources. And there are more schemes like Per Drop, More Chrome scheme for the irrigation is also started by the Indian government. So these are the initiatives which are started for the agriculture by Indian government, and this is highlighted by Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar ji under this Food System Pre-Summit, United Nations Food System Pre-Summit, which was held in Italy. So you have to remember the location. And guys, remember United Kingdom, G7 presidentship also lies with the United Kingdom, and United Nations Climate Change Conference, which is also known as COP26, will be hosted by United Kingdom. Exact place is Glasgow in Scotland. Singapore will host World Economic Forum, and BRICS 2021 chairmanship lies with India of 2021. So these are important things. Now we are moving to next question. Who is appointed as the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security? Again, one appointment. You can just remember the question as in slide only. Answer of this question is Nasir Kamal. IPS officer Nasir Kamal is the answer. And the appointment committee of the cabinet headed by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appointed Nasir Kamal in 1986 IPS batch officer from Uttar Pradesh cadre, because there is election in 2022 in Uttar Pradesh. So guys, this person belongs to Uttar Pradesh cadre as the Director General of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, an independent department under the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And he will hold this post for 1 year, like till 31st of July 2022, the date of his superannuation. So guys, remember answer is Nasir Kamal. And you can also remember these appointments like Kuldeep Singh. We already covered this question. The CRPF day was celebrated, so we covered this question, that he is currently serving as the Director General of CRPF and also additional charge of Director General of National Investigation Agency. Next, Chandrasekhar Ghosh, very important appointment, MD and CEO of Bandhan Bank. Remember, MD and CEO of the Bandhan Bank by Reserve Bank of India. He was recently appointed. JB Mohapatra, again, he was recently appointed as a, you can say, additional charge of the chairman of CBDT, Center Board of Direct Taxes. Again, this is very important. So we are moving to the next question. FamPay, in partnership with which company, launched India's first numberless prepaid card? So this is numberless prepaid card for teenagers with personalized doodles. It means you can customize this card, and this card has no number written on the card. So you can remember it is a numberless prepaid card, and this is the first time that Visa is launching this numberless prepaid card. So this will be used for any type of the transactions, and it is for the near field communication method. So guys, you can see here FamPay partners with the Visa, India's first doodle card, and it is very simple card. No number is written under this card. And you can see here the card will also be the first numberless card of Visa. This is again very important. And FamPay in partnership with Visa launched this card, and it is the first numberless Visa prepaid card for the teenagers with personalized doodle. And the card will be available in two different designs, such as the Fam card and Fam card Me. Fam card Me stands for it is personalized card. And by using the FAM card and the FamPay application, teenagers can make both online and the offline payments without a bank account. And it will enable the teenagers to make near field communication, enabled contactless payment on the Visa network in India through this card. And the teenagers could choose from 200 plus doodles and signatures, fonts to create unique designs on their fan card Me. That's why I told you that FAN card Me stands for the customized card, and FAM card is just a normal card. So recent related news, you have to remember HDFC Argo General Insurance made a partnership with the Visa to provide curated insurance covers for the Visa business card holders, especially for micro, small and medium enterprises. It means they launched a insurance cover for the Visa business card holders, especially which are basically related to micro, small and medium industries. And the insurance will be provided by HDFC Argo and the card holder companies Visa, because MasterCard is restricted now. So every time you will see Visa will partnering with some bank or Visa will partnering with some organization, and you can say RBI restricted the issuance of the debit card and the credit card of the MasterCard. So answer will not be the MasterCard, answer is Visa. And guys, remember about Visa. Visa's headquarters is in California, United States of America. Chairman and CEO is Alfred F. Kelly. You can remember Alfred F. Kelly. So moving to next question. Which country plans to build the world's first clean commercial nuclear reactor? So remember this word, we are using clean word with the nuclear reactor. So it seems like it is impossible, but now China is using this, and it is very much possible. So answer of this question is China, very simple. And you can see here China to activate world's first clean nuclear reactor. And guys, remember this nuclear reactor will use thorium, and thorium is more abundant and much cheaper than uranium, and it cannot be easily converted into nuclear weapons. So this is the advantage of using of thorium, because thorium is very much available, especially in India, and it is more abundant than and much cheaper than the uranium, and it cannot be easily converted into the nuclear weapon. And the prototype reactor being developed by the team of scientists at the Shanghai Institute of Applied Sciences, it is developed by this institution, and will be completed by August, and the first test will begin from the September. It will be completed in August 2021 and it will be tested in September 2021. But a full-scale commercial reactor is expected to ready by the year of 2030. Huge time period it will take. And Chinese scientists have unveiled plans for the first of its kind commercial nuclear reactor, which runs on the liquid thorium, remember, rather than uranium. And what is the advantage of thorium? I already covered. And it is developed by the scientists of the Shanghai Institute of Applied Sciences and the physics. We already covered this. And it also uses the molten salt instead of the water for cooling. This is again very important, because instead of using fuel rods, molten salt reactors will dissolve thorium into liquid fluoride salt before sending this mixture into the reactor's chamber, which is above 600 degrees Celsius temperature. So if there is a leak, basically the molten salt cools nuclear reactor, as they will emit less radiation in case of any adverse events occur. So this is very important, because if there is a leak, the molten salt cools enough effectively so that it seals into the thorium and prevents any significant leak. So this is very important. So that's why they are using the molten salt rather than the water. So this is the main method. And guys, remember, it can be operated easily in deserts and across the plains, as water is not required because we are using molten salt. And thorium is a radioactive, you can say, silvery metal, and which are present widely in monazite sand. And India has the largest reserve of thorium. So this is again very good thing for India. If China successfully tested this thorium nuclear reactor, then we can also build this thorium, because India has largest reserve of thorium in the world. So guys, you have to remember, this is the world's first clean commercial nuclear reactor, which will use thorium rather than uranium, and this will be built by China, and it will be started by China, and they will use salt water, not salt water, basically you can say molten salt rather than the water. Moving to next question. Next is, Hughes Communication India has made a deal with which bank to connect branches of bank across India using a satellite-based connectivity solution. It means the branches of this bank will be connected with the satellite, and the satellite facility will be provided by this Hughes Communication India. And answer of this question is Bank of India. So answer is B. You can see here, Hughes Communication Private Limited, the satellite broadband service firm. This will provide the broadband services to this bank, and it will connect 1800 branches of the Bank of India across India using a satellite, and they will provide connectivity solution. And through the project, this Hughes Communication Private Limited provides satellite connectivity to the branches of the bank that serve rural customers. And this Hughes Communication India Private Limited will provide the network connectivity through the Hughes Jupiter system, including routers, gateways, and the network management with high performance. And you can remember this, that this organization has connected over 30,000 branches and 40,000 ATM of 30 nationalized and the private banks already. 30,000 branches and 40,000 ATMs they already connected of 30 nationalized and the private banks. So this is a huge thing which is covered by this Hughes Communication Private Limited. So you have to just remember the keywords here. The satellite communication will be provided by one of the organization which is known as Hughes, and the bank is Bank of India. Recently they signed for 18,000 bank branches will be you can say satellite based connectivity. And remember about Bank of India, it was established in 1906. Its headquarters is in Mumbai, and MD and CEO is Atanu Kumar Das. And don't remember about Hughes Communication Limited. You can just remember the headquarters. Headquarters is in Gurugram, Haryana. Moving to next question. The digital payment of the country have recorded a growth of how much in financial year 21 according to RBI Digital Payment Index. So RBI released Digital Payment Index. It is a semi-annual index. It means it is published 2 times in a year. And according to new data, the digital payments of the country recorded a growth of almost exact is 30.19%, or you can say 30.2%, almost 30.2%. You can see here digital payments up by 30.2% in financial year 20. It is RBI data, or you can say according to the RBI report. So RBI released this digital payment index report, and the index will be released semi-annually. It means twice in a year. And it is this index is launched by RBI first time in January 2018. Then the base month was the March, and the index has 5 different parameters and the sub parameters like payment enablers, payment infrastructure, demand side factors, supply side factors, payment performance, and the customer centricity. So the digital payment of the country have recorded a growth of 30.2 or the 30.19% in the financial year 21 due to COVID-19. This is so much rise, and it is due to COVID-19. That's why digital transactions took place very easily. So 30.19%. You have to just remember this data because this is RBI official data. Moving to next question. Which bank and India Bulls Housing Finance sign a co-lending agreement for the home loans? So very important, because co-lending agreement recently defined by the RBI. So according to the guidelines of the RBI, one bank and one you can say the NBFC, like non-banking financial company, India Bulls Housing Finance Company, signed a co-lending agreement for the home loans. And this bank is, guys, Yes Bank. So remember, answer of this question is C. And you can see here, Yes Bank and India Bulls Housing Finance signs co-lending agreement for the home loans. And the collaboration aimed to enhance capabilities of providing seamless experience to retail home loan customer, so that maximum to maximum customers can take loan related to home, and home loans will be provided at competitive interest rate. And guys, co-lending model, you have to remember the framework of co-lending was provided by Reserve Bank of India with an objective to join the low cost funding model of a bank with cost efficient sourcing and servicing capabilities of the non-banking financial companies, or you can say NBFCs, to unserved and underserved sectors of India. And the co-lending bank will take its share of the individual loans of the on a back-to-back basis in their books, but NBFCs is required to retain a minimum of 20% share of the individual's loan on its books. And guys, remember, co-lending model is not applicable for the foreign banks, not applicable to the foreign banks if the branches of this foreign bank is less than 20 branches. Remember, if the branches are less than 20 branches and it is a foreign bank, then you can't do this co-lending model, or you can't apply this co-lending model. So this is Yes Bank and India Bulls Housing Finance, NBFC. NBFC will lend almost 20% and bank will lend almost 80%, and it is for the home loans. Very simple question. And Yes Bank was established in 2004. Managing Director and CEO is Prashant Kumar. Remember, headquarters is in Mumbai, and tagline is experience or expertise. And one more tagline is India Bole Yes. India Bole Yes. Now moving to next question. International Tiger Day is annually observed across the globe on which day? earlier we covered a question about the tiger reserve, that was Satpura Tiger Reserve, and now we are talking about International Tiger Day. And guys, remember, International Tiger Day every year is celebrated on 29th of July, or you can say observed on 29th of July. You can see here 2021 International Tiger Day. It is also known as World Tiger Day. It is celebrated on 29th of July. And on 23rd of November 2010, there was a summit, you can say, the St. Petersburg Declaration on the Tiger Conservation. And it was signed during the International Tiger Forum in St. Petersburg, which is situated in Russia. And from 21 to 24 November, under this, you can say, forum, or under this declaration, they proclaimed that 29th July of every year will be celebrated as Global Tiger Day. So, examiner can ask that St. Petersburg Declaration is related to what? So you have to remember, it is for the tiger conservation, and we declared Global Tiger Day under this declaration. And India is the largest tiger range country, where the tiger population is around 2967. It is the data of 2018, which is published under the tiger census, and which is around 70% of the global population of tiger which resides in India. And Pilibhit Tiger Reserve recently won the first ever international award for doubling the number of tigers in 4 years, because in the last 4 years we doubled the tiger, we almost increased by 1400. So that's why this Pilibhit Tiger Reserve almost double the tigers in 4 years against a target of 10 years. So that's why Pilibhit Tiger Reserve won this international award. And guys, remember, Project Tiger is a tiger conservation program launched by the government of India in 1973. And in 1973, the Royal Bengal tiger was declared as the national animal of India following the launch of the Project Tiger. And Madhya Pradesh has the maximum number of tiger, 526. Second rank is Karnataka. Karnataka's is 524, just 2 less. Remember, Karnataka 524. At present, there are 6 tiger reserves in Madhya Pradesh. Already we covered. One is Satpura Tiger Reserve, which is the largest tiger reserve, and Pench is the smallest tiger reserve, that is also situated in Madhya Pradesh. Sanjay Tiger Reserve is there. Panna Tiger Reserve, Kanha Tiger Reserve, Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, and total in India 52 tiger reserves are there. And latest added was Ramgarh Tiger Reserve, which is situated in Rajasthan. So you have to remember. And maximum is also in Madhya Pradesh, 526. So these are the things you have to remember. Now we are moving to next question. India becomes dash largest forex reserves holder globally. So this is a data, especially it is created by International Monetary Fund, but India becomes fourth largest foreign exchange reserves holder globally, and India's forex reserve in the, you can say, till July 2021 rose by $835 million. It rose by $835 million, and total India's forex reserve is now $612.73 billion. This is total forex reserve of India. And Indian forex reserves cover, you can say, foreign currency asset, special drawing rights, or you can say SDR of IMF, gold reserves is also included, and the country's reserve position with the International Monetary Fund. And guys, remember, the top country who has the maximum forex reserve is China. China has almost $3,349 billion. This is a huge. India has 612. It means 5 times more than India. Japan has $1,376 billion. Japan on the second. Third is Switzerland, guys. Fourth is India, and fifth is Russia. It means China has the largest reserve, followed by the Japan and Switzerland, and India has overtaken Russia to become the 4th largest country with foreign exchange reserve. So you have to remember, 5th is Russia and 4th is India, and top is China. Moving to next question, but you can also see the detail here. And one most important thing, gold reserves in India estimated to 501.83 metric ton. And maximum number of gold reserves are situated in Bihar, that is almost 44%, Rajasthan 25%, Karnataka 21%, and more. There are more states like Jharkhand is there, Andhra Pradesh is there, but there are minimal reserves. So Bihar, Rajasthan, and Karnataka, maximum gold ore reserves are there, and maximum is in Bihar. So you can remember this. Move to next question, and it is from picture that new Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan ji announced central government has proposed to set up a National Research Foundation. It is to strengthen the research ecosystem in the country. And guys, this is also announced by the, you can say, the Nirmala Sitharaman, that is in the Union Budget of 2021-22, that a fund of almost 50,000 crore will be given for setting up of this NRF. And a total proposed outlay of this NRF is 50,000 crore over a period of 5 years. So you have to remember exact amount, 50,000 crore. and this fund will be used for the research facility. NRF has been proposed to set up an autonomous body. It will be represented by all major research and the educational bodies. And remember, it will act as an umbrella body, and it will help in improving the links between the research and the development, academia and the industry. So the main objective is to seed, grow and facilitate research at academic institutions where research capacities are in the initial stage. And it will fund research projects across 4 major disciplines. One is the science, technology, social science, arts and humanities. And the setting up of this NRF is envisaged in National Education Policy in 2020. It is also included under this policy. And guys, you can remember Anurag Thakur, again new Minister Anurag Thakur, and he is currently the Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting. And he stated that government will also set up a National Center of Excellence for Animation, Visual Effects, Gaming and Comics, and it will be set up with the collaboration of IIT Bombay. Examiner can ask that this center will be established with the collaboration of which institute. So guys, remember, it will be established with the help of IIT Bombay, and the Center of Excellence will help in realizing the needs of Indian as well as the global industry. And you can remember this IIT Bombay. And guys, remember Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, Education Minister, and he is currently the member of Rajya Sabha from Madhya Pradesh. And Anurag Thakur, Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting, and he is currently member from Hamirpur from Lok Sabha. And remember, Hamirpur is in Himachal Pradesh. Moving to next. In 2021, Earth Overshoot Day falls on which day? So every year the day can be different, but in 2021 this Earth Overshoot Day falls on 29th of July. So answer of this question is C. You can remember this because it is very important, because it is a variable day. 2021 Earth Overshoot Day. Now it falls on 29th of July. Now what is the meaning of this Earth Overshoot Day? It marks the day on which humanity's demand for ecological resources and services in the year exceeds the regeneration capacity of Earth in that year. In simple word, you can say the resources, all the things which are basically given for 1 year to utilize, but we utilized all these things till 29th of July. It means we have to use now next year products in this year. So this is the Earth Overshoot Day. It means we overutilize the things. And the Earth Overshoot Day in 2020 was observed on 22nd of August. It means the 2020 all things we utilized on till 22nd of August, but in 2021 we utilized till 29th of July. So this is a huge thing, and that's why we started a program that is 100 days of possibility, launched on the Earth Overshoot Day program. And the aim of this hashtag 100 days possibility or move the date is to move the Earth Overshoot Day to December 31st, that we have to use all resources till end of the day and beyond that. So you have to remember 100 days of possibility or hashtag move the date. Both programs launched on the Earth Overshoot Day. So you have to remember what is this Overshoot Day. Moving to next section, it is our important question section, guys. You have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform, and please join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the question. ISRO will launch its most advanced geo-imaging satellite in August. What is the name of this satellite? So very simple question. You have to just remember the name of the satellite. Name of satellite is EOS-3, and in simple words it can be said its another name is GISAT, Geo Imagineering Satellite, and it is first satellite. You can see here ISRO to launch a satellite for natural disaster monitoring later this year, and you can remember exact date. It will be launched on 12th of August 2021. Its name is Geo Imaginary Satellite 1 or EOS-3. It will be capable of near real-time monitoring of natural disasters like floods and cyclones, and it is also capable of imaging the countries 4 and 5 times a day, and will monitor water bodies, crops, vegetation condition and forest cover changes. And the launch of the first uncrewed mission as a part of India's first human spaceflight program, Gaganyaan, has been postponed to the 2022. Earlier, it was scheduled to be launched in like March or April 2022. Now it can be launched in the December of 2022 or the starting of 2023. You have to remember this is Gaganyaan mission, and it is India's first human spaceflight program known as Gaganyaan. So ISRO will also launch one program that is known as Chandrayaan-3 mission to the moon in the third quarter of 2022. This is again very important. And remember about ISRO. ISRO's head is in Bengaluru, and the chairman is K. Sivan. Moving to next question. This question is from picture. This is basically not a question. This is information that ends electronic nicotine delivery system use among children and adolescents increases the chance of their use of conventional cigarettes and other tobacco products in the future. And this is a report which is published by World Health Organization. So it means for the first time the report presents data on the e-cigarettes and other electronic nicotine delivery system which is known as ENDS. And the report stated that the children and adolescents who are using this ENDS products like electronic nicotine delivery system products have high chances of using conventional cigarettes and other tobacco products in the future. And use of this ENDS affects brain development of the adolescent. It also has a damaging impact on the cardiovascular and the you can say respiratory health of the regular smoker. So remember, this is report of World Health Organization, and remember, Director General is Dr. Tedros, headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. Moving to next section, it is a one-liner important point. We have to change the color to red so that you can clearly see this. National Moth Week 2021. So if you can remember, you can, otherwise it is not so much important, but you have to remember National Moth Week every year is celebrated on the last full week of July. Last full week of July. So it was celebrated on 17th to 25th of July, because after that the next week will be completed in the August, so it will be not considered. So last week of July means the full week of the July. So it is to celebrate the beauty, life cycle and the habitat of the moth species. And the day offers an opportunity for everyone to become a citizen scientist and contribute scientific data about moths, a part of the, you can say, insects. And the National Moth Week 2021, observed from 17th to 25th of July, marks the 10th National Moth Week. So you can just remember the last full week of the July. Next, International Finance Corporation acquires 4.99% stake in the Federal Bank for 916 crore. So this is an international organization. You can say it is a World Bank arm, and it has acquired 4.99% stake in the Federal Bank for how much? It is for 916 crore. And remember about Federal Bank. Federal Bank headquarters is in Kerala. Exact place is Aluva. Tagline is your perfect banking partner, and MD and CEO is Shyam Srinivasan. Next, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat ji released Open Defecation Plus manuals under Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin Phase 2. So in 2020, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat ji launched this second phase of this Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin. Now, Union Minister of Jal Shakti, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat ji, and Minister of State for Jal Shakti, Prahlad Singh Patel ji, jointly released this manual, which is known as Open Defecation Plus Manual. And you can say it is Open Defecation Free Plus manual under the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin Phase 2, and the manual covers key components of Open Defecation Free Plus like grey water management, plastic waste management, you can say sludge management, biodegradable waste management, and it will help states, districts and the rural bodies implement solid and the liquid waste management initiative. So this is the second phase, and the main focus is solid and liquid waste. Next, RBI allowed non-banks to participate in the RTGS and the NEFT. So guys, you have to remember now the non-banks can also use this system, that is RTGS and NEFT. Next, Jyotiraditya Scindia forms 3 advisory group to revive airline industry, especially after the COVID-19. And Union Minister of Civil Aviation, newly appointed Union Minister of Civil Aviation, Jyotiraditya Scindia, formed 3 advisory groups for airlines, airports and the maintenance and the repair and the overhaul units. And the groups will discuss and find solution to revive the airline industry. And the groups of airline will comprise, you can say, chiefs of all major airlines in India. It will be headed by Jyotiraditya Scindia, the only Union Minister of Civil Aviation. Next, Preset Loans and Ugro Capital partner to provide MSMEs credit in Tier 3 and Tier 4 cities. You have to just remember what is the Tier 3 and what is the Tier 4 cities. The cities with a population of 20,000 to 49,999 are known as the Tier 3 cities, and after that the population in between 10,000 to 19,999, this is known as Tier 4 cities. And the partnership aims to cater to the unmet need of businessmen in specific segments like groceries, pharma, dairy, fruits and the vegetables, and the credit will be provided by these companies. One is known as Preset Loans and second is the Ugro Capital. But it is not so much important question. I covered this because you can know about Tier 3 and the Tier 4 cities. Moving to next, it is the 27th of July 2021 question. What was the question? Very simple. What is the time period for a term loan to be classified as a NPA? So after the normal time period of 90 days, banks can declare any asset as a NPA. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer is 90 days. After that, it can convert it into the substandard asset. Otherwise, it is known as standard asset when you are paying the loan, paying the installments. But if you are not paying, then after 90 days, banks can declare it is a NPA and it will become the substandard. And it can become the substandard till 12 months. After 12 months, it can become the doubtful, and after doubtful, it can become the loss NPA. So you have to remember, banks can declare any asset as a NPA after 90 days. Now we are moving to the question of the day. What is down payment? So very simple question. Every common person now using this word because of the EMIs. So you can answer very simply, and please read these options carefully and you can answer in comment box only. And guys, please like this video, share this video and subscribe this channel. Please share as maximum as possible, because by providing these three things you are motivating us. And please press this bell button and join our Telegram group from the description box link. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section, and it is my personal promise that if you are watching the videos regularly and if you are reading the current affairs regularly from our PDFs, your current affairs section will go strong. And guys, keep smiling like this and don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys. Take care and bye-bye.